advantage based on who had the ball, when, and where. And that's what made that zone so unique, which is why I always say, why do we not
finally play this shit today?
What they locked in, they had a great scheme. It was built around making LeBron James a facilitator. So the problem with what you're saying is everything that you're saying when we pulled up the whiteboard was basically making LeBron James a facilitator, which is still playing in the Dallas's hands.
Yeah, but you gotta open the floor up. Look, I'm saying, look, as the game goes on, you gotta open the floor up. So yeah, LeBron James. Boston slide to the 5.
Got a fucking waltz in his phone.
Go to the 4, and they play that 5 out. It let LeBron James really unleash his skill set. It really kind of unlocked.
So you agree with it, Johnny?
To an extent, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yes, about 2012. Yeah, 2011 they didn't have the personnel around them, but I still believe if you got two. Here's the thing: if you got 20, if you have 2 of the top 3 players on the court, right? Because I mean, well, I say 2. I say 2 of the 2 of the top 3 players on the court. More times than not, because here's the thing: star power does matter. We can't act like star power doesn't matter, especially at this point. That's the reason that he got past the pool.
I'm not gonna act. It don't matter. That's just being real. It don't matter.
Okay,
It don't
star
matter.
power don't matter. Having 2 of the top 5 players don't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. No, you got to have a
Doesn't
team.
matter.
Team wins, teams lose. That's how it has always been in basketball.
Yeah, but usually the team with the 2 best players on the court is gonna win majority of the time.
Yeah, because because usually that team is filled out from the bottom, not just the 2 players on the top. That's the facts.
True, but again, I do agree.
He wasn't one of those teams.
Listen, I'll say the Mavericks had the better role players. Miami had the better stars. You know, that's just objective fact.
The better team wins, not better role players.
But look, you're not. Listen, we gotta be real. LeBron underperformed, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. 2012, 13. LeBron, listen. That's what really gave us the LeBron that we know today, man. When he went, and like I said, worked on his jump.
Wow. In 2010 he balled out. 2009 he balled out.
Gio
balled out.
2008 he balled out.
Gio,
Yeah.
if LeBron would have averaged 40 a game and they lost in 2011, would it matter?
If he averaged 40, they wouldn't have lost.
No, hold on.
He averaged 40 versus
Hold on, I'm asking.
Yeah, but
he averaged 40 a
If
game.
he averaged 40, Dwayne Wade's not averaging 26. That's what you fail to realize. Dwayne Wade's not going to average 26. That's what y'all fail to realize.
Okay, well again, Dwayne Wade. Here's the thing. We've seen this time and time again with every LeBron. Look, the second guy with LeBron, whether it's D Wade, Kyrie, they're not taking any less shots than they were. They were taking damn near the same amount of shots when he got there in year 1. Dwayne Wade was taking damn near the same amount of shots that he was when LeBron James wasn't on the team. It wasn't like he just took shots away from D Wade.
He was taking more shots in 20.
He didn't. No, I'm saying, listen. I said,
Dwayne Wade was taking more shots.
when you say 09, I said, look, before he got there, it's not like LeBron James isn't taking shots away from Dwayne Wade. Neither one of them, they're equally dicing up these looks in 2011. They're pretty sure they're shooting around the same amount of shots. They're averaging the same amount of points. So,
Gio,
offensively,
why did D Wade say we cannot win playing your turn, my turn basketball?
Yeah, I agree because LeBron. Well, look, I agree with that. That's part of the reason. That's not the whole reason. The roster is part of it, right? But the your turn, my turn, like kind of like Russ and KD was in OKC doing the your turn, my turn shit. That should only work for so long until defensive schemes lock in on you. Until people, you know what I mean? That only works for so long. But again,
that's exactly what happened to him. That's literally exactly what happened to the Heat in 2011.
Two things can be true though. I do give credit to the Mavericks for their defensive scheme and their defensive. I do give credit to them. They get the credit for that. But it's also LeBron James not performing up to the standards. Whether or not the defense.
LeBron is the only nigga in NBA history that gets expected.
Brother, LeBron's my favorite. Listen, I'm not up here on no. You feel me?
No, I'm been on other lives with Zesties that allow you to go up there, and as long as you accept LeBron choked in 2011, they'll accept.
No, I've never said no. Now you're just
Yeah,
checking.
he never choked. Yeah, I'm not chatting, bro. I've heard you before, bro.
No,
I've heard you plenty of times. I've been listening. We got you guys talking. You are sitting here telling us LeBron James choked when the game plan was for him to be passive, and he was actually passive when he was a child, and his team lost not because he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do, but because the game plan sucked. You have to go to somebody who decided to make LeBron James a passer instead of a scorer. That's what you have to do.
Look. So at the end of the day, LeBron James. Okay, so we can say this objective fact. Like when he got to the finals, obviously he dropped from 26 to like 17 points a game, right? So we're gonna say LeBron James being a passer, right? You're telling me that those shots that he gave to Chalmers or Bosch or Joel Anthony, whatever players on the court that he was deferring to, Wade, whatever, right? You're telling me that as the best player, it's better for the team it's better for LeBron James as the best player in the world to regress 9 points, right? So he went from 26 to 17 points per game and just start passing the ball around. That's a better game plan than just LeBron James just dominating like he was leading up to that point. Like there's no way this is.
There is no game plan to say, I need LeBron to score 27 points a game. That does not exist, sir. There's no game plan that draws that up, but there's a game plan that is put in place to run certain plays and take advantage of certain defensive strategies. It is not set up with LeBron needs to score 27 points per game because I put this. No, that's not how basketball works. It only works on TikTok. It doesn't work that way. He thought that they could win with Dwayne Wade finishing and closing out those games. They thought Dwayne Wade would score 30, 35 points per game, and he didn't.
Okay, so the average. Let's just keep it on. Okay, so the average, right? When a player has an average, he has an average of 27. That means that you're expected. That's what you're expected to
That's
get.
what fucking says Jeff. You're obsessed with points per game, and that's not the.
No, brother. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. Don't throw me in a box.
I'm trying to hear you talk.
No, I'm saying don't throw me in a box, bro. Hey, bro, don't throw me in a box. You're getting mad. You're mad. You don't even got an actual picture.
Gio, he was averaging 20 points per game in the playoffs, Gio. He was averaging 20 points per game in the playoffs, Gio. That's what he was averaging. 23 points per game. That's what he was averaging in the playoffs. He averaged 24 points per game to beat the what's it called, the 76ers. He averaged 28 versus the Boston Celtics. He averaged 26 versus versus the Chicago Bulls. He averaged 18 versus the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
He took less shots versus that's the only thing that happened. That was the only difference. And the reason he took less shots wasn't because he couldn't score or he was afraid to score or he was under pressure. It's because the game plan changed. The Miami Heat thought that they could beat the Dallas Mavericks with Dwayne Wade, not with LeBron James.
Hey, go LeBron James himself. If I play a clip of LeBron James at the podium that game saying, "Hey, I wasn't aggressive enough, right? I was out of rhythm. I wasn't aggressive enough. I should have attacked more." What are you gonna say to that?
Are you gonna play the game film after game 3 when Dwayne Wade said I'm gonna?
No, that's fine. I'm just saying there's nothing better than coming from the horse's mouth of LeBron saying, "Hey, I wasn't aggressive enough. I didn't exert, my will on the game like I should have." Can I play the clip for you or?
Well, go ahead and play. You said this after what game?
This is after game 4 when he had 8 points.
Go ahead. Let's hear what LeBron James said.
Okay, hold on. 1 second.
I just still think this is all pointless. Every player says this stuff. Every player says
I know
this
that's
stuff after
sincere
a
because
loss.
we don't know what he said. Remember, these Zesty Jeffries can't see what we see. They can't hear what we hear. Let's hear what LeBron James probably
I'm not a Zesty Jeffrey.
You have Zesty Jeffrey logic, sir. Don't tell me what a Zesty Jeffrey is. I know exactly what a Zesty Jeffrey is. Yes, I know. Listen, if you were a real LeBron fan, you wouldn't survive a minute in those Zesty Jeffrey lives. The fact that you go there, you chill, and you hang out there and look, lets me know it's long enough that you are a Zesty Jeffrey, sir. They won't allow you there. You know, that same way they don't allow us there because they know real LeBron fans won't think like this.
I don't believe in the narrative of basketball talk. I don't think you get to the NBA because you get nervous. I think once you get to the NBA, all of these guys have been playing in big enough games to where it now comes to strategic advantages or just roster advantages. That's what it comes down to. And I mean, it's just odd to hear you say that, yes, that they didn't have the roster, but that's why I asked you. If LeBron is more aggressive and they still lose. If LeBron scores a few more points and they still lose, what does it do? It doesn't make your team better. It doesn't make it. It doesn't make. It doesn't do anything. All it does is take points away from D Wade that he would have scored and give them to LeBron. I mean, there's really no.
Can I play this clip for y'all? It's about 30 seconds.
Go ahead, man. Let's hear it. Let's hear this clip we never heard before.
Saw the whole thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
Impressive work. Get Mr. B so worked up that we saw the city player. Just like he playing.
Who's watching? Who you getting these clips from? We already tell them who you getting these clips from. It's completely nonsense.
Here we go.
Let's go.
I got to do a better job of being more assertive offensively. Not staying out of rhythm offensively the whole game. But I think one thing I'm just trying to concentrate is, if I get two guys on me, I'm just trying to make my teammates better, hit those guys open looks, and they make some great looks. But at the same time, I got to keep myself in rhythm while I'm doing that as well.
Okay, so real quickly, he's basically saying, hey, look, I wasn't being aggressive enough. I wasn't attacking it, being aggressive as I should have, you know what I mean? So again, that's coming from the horse's mouth saying, hey, I was being passive.
But Gio, it still takes me to the. It's your solution. Everything that you say, all this narrative stuff, is still taking me to the whiteboard.
Hmm.
What does more aggressive look like? Where do you
Looks like, hey, look,
you heard LeBron say, I'm being double teamed. LeBron is not going to jack up shots when he joined the Heat to not do that. That's what he was doing when he was in Cleveland. That's the whole point. He said that. He said to be more assertive on offense. It's my job to make my teammates better. Get them the open shots. The shots are there. They're not hitting it. It would be easier to be more assertive if they're hitting their shots. They're double teaming me. They're triple teaming me.
He wasn't doubled on every possession. That's what I'm saying.
But sir, again, the game plan isn't for him to get any shot he wants. He is the only ball facilitator they have. They don't have no one else to get him to the offense.
Let me just present a question.
And that wasn't him just basically saying he played bad. That was just saying I gotta be more assertive. I gotta find my look. Yeah. Basically saying I gotta find my rhythm, meaning that I'm out of rhythm because I'm trying to get everybody else involved. I gotta find the ways to get my shot, but he can't find it because they're making sure he doesn't get his shot. So he has to pass the ball. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, but they were.
The Dwarves go. The Dwarves struggled as a minority for decades. They deserve respect, nothing less. True statement to lighten the mood is to ignore the very real pain in our rhythm. Whatever looked against the story is the orchestrated work, proving the shit love city, the doors are knowing and stupid battle. You believe for a second art wants the city to improve.
And Mr. Butcher shot the first quarter. That was his job. He was the one who didn't do his job.
At the end of the day, we could draw up a million plays. We could draw up a million plays the next Sunday, right? At the end of the day, we can't make an open jumper.
Okay, so Gio, just so we can move on.
Oh my God, he can make an open jumper. He's been making open jumpers.
No, I didn't say that he couldn't. I didn't say that he couldn't.
He shot the best that he shot in any. He was the best shooter in his
Part of being on spot. Let us focus on each of these points one at a time. Come on. Freedom for shadow would only focus on helping the rich and so on. Democracy, they do like that, but they're really corrupt also.
It means that, again, this is what birthed the greatest.
Bring a lot of money into the city, but it's always good.
Okay, no. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
This setback.
Let's go to another year. Hold on, let's go to another year. Okay, so we just, hold on, y'all.
Be a farmer. Who the fuck want to be a
over an
farmer?
hour on 2011.
Farming is a good, healthy life.
As you admit,
Don't
LeBron
change the
didn't have a
subject.
team, but he was more aggressive, more assertive. They could have won. So
They
now,
should retain the spirit of the Goddamn Revolution. After completing the quest, he's allowed to take root in your mind. Take a deep breath and stand up against the ever-growing wave of capitalism and just choose to get in spirit and speech. With this feat, you restore 1 hit point for every hour.
1988 Jordan.
I want that.
Hold on,
You should choose one talks.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hey, look, I'm agreeing. Listen, I'm
Children
not a
well,
Jordan dude.
true harmony comes from being
I'm
challenged
not
to
asking you to
follow
be a
the
Jordan.
door
I'm not
and
asking
way
you.
if you
I'm
get
just
it.
saying this is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe a slightly less than roster, not the most perfect roster, but a good enough roster to be in the playoffs in the position that he's in, versus a Detroit team that was very beatable. I'm just asking you, Okay, so just like we can, LeBron underplayed. Let's just go with all that. What could Jordan have done in 1988 to not choke?
I feel like Jordan. I feel like if you're talking about 1988. I feel like he did pretty much everything that he could. I felt like this is what I feel like. I feel like at a certain point, you had to let Scottie Pippen develop into the player that he was. And until he got to that point where he was Scottie, because they were still calling him Scott at that point. Charles Oakley was still slapping him around at practice, and they was calling him Scottie. They wasn't calling him Scottie. He didn't have that sauce yet, okay? When Scottie Pippen turned into Scottie,
he can always
the
play
player
more.
that we know, the all-time legend that we know, because I'm not one of these Jordan dudes that's gonna get up here and be like, oh, Scottie Pippen. No, Scottie Pippen's a legend. He's a top 10 player in the 90s. He had to develop, and he needed Scottie. I feel like at the end of the day, you could sit here and drop 40, just like LeBron in 09, right? He averaged like 39, 9, and 9 against the Magic, right? But he didn't have that secondary guy to help him. And at the end of the day, you could sit here and drop whatever stat line you want. At the end of the day, you still need that second star if you're going to do anything.
Okay, but what could Jordan have done to get them over the hump?
Shit, he did everything that he could. I mean, 1988, Jordan, that's the year that he won DPOY.
No, he had a 9-point drop-off, sir. He had a 9-point drop-off. He had a 9-point drop-off.
Yeah, he did.
He had a 9-point drop-off. So what happened to him? So why he couldn't step up? Why was he derailed by a team with no all-NBA, no all-defensive?
Go. They needed, again, this is where I say he needed that secondary offensive, scorer.
He did have a second offensive scorer.
Warriors was gone and Pippen was back.
Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley ain't no fucking option to go to.
What you mean? Okay, Dwayne Wade had the second option in Chris Bosh and LeBron James. Why did Dwayne Wade get him over the hump?
Dwayne Wade wasn't the second. No, LeBron. Him and LeBron was playing A1.
Okay, so
no. Oh my God. So
Jordan's
no second option. Jordan's a 1-1 beat to win. This is no sense.
Hold on, Jill. Okay, we're gonna go through each game, and this is where some of Jordan's failures right here. So in game 1, they lost by 11. Jordan went 1 of 7 in the first half, only 7 points. He scored 14 in the fourth, but that was after the game was out of reach. So he scored a whole bunch of points in garbage time. Alright. In game 2, they won. He scored 37, so he used his scoring to take care of business. Game 3, they lost by 10. Jordan didn't score a point until 6:31 in the second quarter. By then, the Bulls were already down 18. So again, when we look at games 1 and games 3, Jordan shooting 1 of 7 in the first half, down 7, doesn't really start scoring till it's a blowout. Game 3, they lost by 10. Jordan doesn't score a point until 6:31 in the second quarter. Was he being passive? Was he not being aggressive? What could he have done to maybe? Did he need to score a little bit more in the first? Did he need to be more aggressive? What was going on? Because you said he did all he could do. But when you go 1 of 7 in the first half, or if he spends the whole first quarter doing nothing, doesn't score a point in game 3 until 6:31 in the second quarter, maybe that's why you're down 18. Could he have done more?
Okay, so I just want to preface this by, I believe that Michael Jordan, he was the best player on the court. We all agree. You guys all agree to this. He's the best player on the court. Even for that series, he's the best player in that series. We agree?
Yes.
We agree. Okay, so with him being the best player, right? We do understand that 1988 Bad Boys Pistons is one of the best defenses of all time. You agree to that too, right?
No, that's false. That's false.
So the
Bulls were a better defensive team. The Bulls were a better defensive team in 1988 than the Detroit Pistons were.
Oh, and you're basing that off of what defensive ranking?
They had the #1 defensive basketball in the Bulls team.
So hold on though, James. Okay, hold on. Actually, I'm not even going to touch on that. I'm just going to say, okay. The Pistons, I'm pretty sure they were top 5. I'm not mistaken.
They were the third ranked defense.
Yeah, so they were both.
They had no all defensive player on their roster.
Dennis Rodman?
No.
Okay, I'm sure.
Yes.
Didn't he win back-to-back DPOYs? So am I tripping? Or was that 89?
That was 91, 92.
Okay. Well, they did have the rebounding champion. They did. And Dennis Rodman wasn't again. Hold on.
They did 1988. No, stop lying. The 1988 Detroit Pistons had no All-NBA player, no All-Defensive player on their roster. They only had 1 20-point per game scorer, 1 All-Star guy. That's it. They didn't have the leading rebounder.
Right. Okay. And you say you don't want to talk narrative, so then I'm just gonna simply say, we know on defense, we know that Dennis Rodman is one of the greatest defenders of all time. We know
Not in
for a fact.
1988, sir. Not in 1988, sir.
And in '88, yeah, that's a young Rodman. That's when he
was coming off the bench. He was coming off the bench. He was green. He was in his second NBA season in 1988, sir. Dennis Rodman was not a defensive monster. Those are Zesty Jeffrey lies.
Okay. Again.
Niggas lying, get
Okay.
cooked is the best
Okay,
thing.
how is it getting cooked? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you?
Because you're lying. Those are not true. That's not narrative.
Brother,
I'm
Dennis-
telling you the truth. You're saying Dennis Rodman was something he was not in 1988. He was none
Brother,
of those
he was an
factors.
excellent defender in 1988.
Based on what, sir? Based on what?
Based on listen. Based on the fact that once again, you just said the defensive rating didn't matter when I brought that up.
I didn't say defensive rating, sir. I don't go by defensive rating.
But you just said the Bulls had the better defensive rating. You just
No, I
went
didn't.
by-
I said they had the best ranking. That's by points per game, so they had the best defense by points per game. That's what all
Okay.
defenses are.
Okay. So then
The least points per game.
again, I'm just gonna say this, okay? Because again, we're not gonna sit here and act like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was again an
But
excellent defender, an excellent rebounder. That's all for the team.
Gio, I'm
Was
not.
he sixth man of the year too?
You're not asking, but no, they had none of this.
Hold on.
They
No,
had
I know.
none of this.
No,
He had none of this. He had none of this, sir.
Okay.
They had none of it. They had none of it. Jordan was being shut down by a bench player, by your words. We spoke to the actual team.
That's a top 75 player, man. That's a top 75. That's a fucking legend. He's not a
A
bench
top
player.
75 is for your career. That's the season.
No, he
Jason
came off
Kidd's
the
a top
bench, but he's
75 player.
one of the best fucking bench players in the league.
Nobody.
No, he was not, sir. Not in 1988, sir. Those are all lies. In 1988,
Brother, how do you
no
think?
lies.
That's what he did on the team was play defense and get boards, man.
Sir, the Bulls had
You think he was on the fucking team for it? That's what he did at an elite level.
Scottie Pippen was as good as a defender as Dennis Rodman was in 1988.
Dennis Rodman went DPOY 89 and 90.
Okay,
No, it wasn't 89 and 90.
right.
It wasn't 89 and 90. He didn't win the deep point. He won it in 90 and 91, or 91 and 92. He did not win it in the 80s. In 1989, it was obvious.
No, he won it.
Listen, I know this information, ladies and gentlemen. Do not challenge Bill James Kingdom when you don't know. 1988, Pistons had no all-defensive player, no defensive player of the year, none of that. They didn't have the leading rebounder, steals, blocks, none of that. They didn't have the best defense in basketball, none of that.
Okay, yes.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Look, y'all. He gave us a whole soliloquy of what LeBron James could have done more, irregardless of the roster flaws, to win. I was hoping that he could give us an explanation as to what Jordan could have done more, irregardless
Wait
of
for
the
Scott.
roster flaws, to win.
He told you, Lamar, he said, wait for Scott. Wait for him to, and that's what LeBron James. LeBron James waited for a better team. That's how he
I
won.
agree.
The same way Jordan had to wait for a better. So it wasn't nobody
I
choking. The same way Jordan didn't choke in '88, LeBron didn't choke in 2011. LeBron didn't underperform in 2011.
Oh,
the same way
LeBron
Jordan didn't underperform in 19. Jordan underperformed in 1988 and worse. And worse.
Nah, I can't.
Yes. I know you can't accept that because now you can't go to blind bitches live saying that. You can't go hang out with those lefties and say that.
Well, brother, I don't hang out, bro. That's what I'm saying.
You do. I don't see you on no LeBron live. This is the first time I see you on a LeBron James fans live. You've been all out
Yeah,
of
because I don't want it to be an echo chamber. That's why.
That's what you so you want to accept lies? So you want to accept lies so that you can come up and just lie to
No, I'm not
argument, and that's why they
accepting
call you. That's what makes you zesty. To create a lie just for the sake of argument instead of talking basketball.
Bro, a lie is to sit here and say LeBron James didn't underperform. In 11.
That's
When
not
he
a lie.
himself
He
admitted
did
to the shit.
underperform. He did underperform.
He did not choke, bro.
He did not
Okay, well,
underperform.
LeBron
He
James
played
himself
what he was
admitted
supposed
to it,
to.
so
He's supposed to it.
men lie, women lie. It's coming from the
Okay,
men themselves.
whatever. Yeah, so you need LeBron James to tell you what to talk
No,
about.
I think Jordan. Look. I do think. Look, it's saying it's
Jordan
against the
choking
Pistons.
88.
It's the same way.
Jordan choking 88. I'm
No,
saying.
he said no.
I'm saying.
I would say.
Hold on.
I would say no. The Pistons have a better
Hold on,
team.
Gio. Hold on. Underperforming literally means. If somebody has background noise, please mute. If you got it.
That's me.
All right. So underperforming literally means your numbers are falling below what you typically did. In '88, Jordan's numbers fell below what he typically did. On top of that, they lost to a team. Right? They lost to a team that didn't have a whole bunch of star power, very similar to the Dallas Mavericks. Outside of the Detroit had Isaiah Thomas, Dallas had
Right.
Dirk.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Outside of that,
how are they similar? How are they similar?
similar in nature to where they won by committee. It wasn't by, like you said, a whole bunch of superstar power at the top. The Bulls, definitely, if you go into that series, who had the superstar power? The Bulls definitely had the
Jordan
superstar
Bulls.
power.
Wait, hold on. No, the Bulls only have one guy, but I will say that.
Yeah, but who has the
had none, and the Pistons had none.
Look, no,
Pistons
but
had
the
none.
Pistons didn't have a
I don't
superstar.
want to nitpick.
The Pistons have a superstar.
Look, listen, I just don't want to nitpick. Look, for example, that's the first year that they made it to the finals. And correct me if I'm wrong. Isaiah Thomas broke his foot. They lost the Magic, and the Lakers won that. And then the next 2 years, they made 3 straight finals
And
appearances.
Dallas won the championship. And Dallas won the championship.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Pistons team, right? That was the beginning of, well, it would have been a dynasty if they was able to get in '98.
What does that have to
They
do?
made 3 straight finals.
That was because Jordan tried.
Yeah, but I'm saying they made 3 straight finals, so it's obvious that they were on the up.
And they beat Jordan 3 straight times to make those finals. That means
Yeah, but this wasn't a one-off team like the Mavericks. The Mavericks was a one-off, and then they was done after.
They were supposed to be one off. If Jordan
How was they supposed? They made 3 straight finals, bro.
Because Jordan kept choking against them.
Yeah, but they also beat.
Dallas 3 straight years.
Yeah, but they also beat Magic and Bird as well, so it wasn't just a Jordan. Like they were beating up on everybody.
And the Mavs did the same thing. They also beat up on Kobe. They also beat up Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but
they did the same
they
thing.
did that for 3 years.
We're still
That's
But
what
they
they
only,
did.
but they only beat up 1 year for LeBron. They only beat LeBron, but they beat
Yeah, and then
Jordan 3
they fell
times.
off
They
with
beat
the
Jordan
Hey, but
they
that-
beat Jordan 3 times. LeBron didn't lose 3 times.
We're still getting away from the whole point. Irregardless of circumstance, you said that LeBron could have done more. Irregardless of circumstance,
Yeah.
why don't you hold Jordan to the same standard of you just need to, if Pippen's not ready, then you got to do a little bit more, right? And I showed you in certain games where Jordan was lethargic to start the game, didn't activate till the game was already a blowout, right? When are you going to hold Jordan to the standard of not being passive and doing more, which could have ultimately led to more wins, like in that game 2, where he scored 37 and they won. So you know that they need all of his scoring powers to win. They don't have time for him to take entire quarters off not scoring. What do you have to say about Jordan being passive and not scoring for entire quarters at times?
Okay, well, that's back when they developed the Jordan Bulls, right? They didn't have any secondary scorer over there on the Bulls. Michael Jordan was he had to score damn near. He had to score fucking almost all the fucking points for the Bulls.
Or Gio, or you
He
can
had to
just
create
say,
all the looks.
or Gio, just do this. Pistons had a great defense. Maybe him not scoring in the first quarter has something to do with the Pistons actually playing defense.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's
Jordan struggled. No, hold on, stop you. Maybe
You want to say that
maybe Jordan's struggles came from, as you just said, Pistons were
The Jordan
one of the
Bulls.
great. Hold on, as you just said, the Pistons were one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Yes.
Why don't you just say, when I show you Jordan's struggles, and I can put that back on the screen for you, why don't you just say, well, damn, it looks like they knew how to get after and slow Jordan up to start the game. For him not to get activated, for him not to score a bucket until 6:31 in the second quarter, what type of defense are you playing where you can hold Jordan at that time to 0 points until the second quarter?
It was the Jordan rules, and they were allowed to
The
close
Jordan
line. They were
rules?
allowed
No, that's a lie. What are you talking about?
None of that happened. It was all lies.
They weren't allowed to.
Oh, again,
What?
They were allowed.
What lies? They were not doing that.
When Michael Jordan, hold on, brother, hold on. When Michael Jordan would go to the rim, he would get clothesline, he would
No,
get
that's
grabbed
not
out
true.
there, he would get a lot of hard fouls.
Can you show? Hold on, Jill. No, Jill, you were so quick to show film. Can you show us film of this? Because we watched the game, we didn't see any hard fouls. Show me film. Show me. Show me.
Okay, so you want me to pull up, you want me to pull up what the Detroit Pistons was, okay.
No, in the playoffs. No, you gotta do it in the playoffs.
That's why Michael Jordan hit the weight room. He hit the weight room, and you know, came back, started developing, and then they got them niggas
Film.
under.
Just show us the film. Show us the film.
In the playoffs.
For sure,
Show us
for
in
sure,
the
for
playoffs.
sure.
In the playoffs.
No, let me show you the film of Michael Jordan getting clotheslined and
No,
all
in
right, I
the
got you.
playoffs. In the playoffs, not highlights.
I got you. No. Don't preface it. Don't preface it.
No, because we're talking about in the playoffs. Because we're talking about the playoffs.
Well, hold on.
No, those are not the Jordan rules. 2 3 clips are not the Jordan rules. You have to show us how they were doing it in the playoffs to keep Jordan from scoring in the playoffs. Dude, what do you mean? He's not going to show us the game.
You know,
film.
now, Jill, you know that we watch these full games. You know that, right?
We have them available. He's going to go get some film, and he's going to show 2 clips.
Once again, I've watched these hardwood classics. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I've seen every game because they're not all available. I wasn't
You did
But
it.
again,
Stop lying. You did it. Stop lying. Because if you saw it, you would know they would never win that Jordan.
okay, bro, it wasn't. Bill Laimbeer wasn't.
Yes, he was not. Yes, he was not. I have to repeat myself. They were not close-lining and hard-fouling Jordan in the
They were-
World Series in 1988, sir. They
The
were not.
Pistons were infamous for doing that. That's why they got their name, the Bad Boys.
Lies, sir.
It wasn't even
Lies,
just Jordan.
sir.
Listen, hold on. It
Lies,
wasn't even just Jordan.
sir. Lies,
It wasn't even
sir.
just Jordan. They would do this with Larry Bird. They would do this to.
Lies. We heard this joke. You're telling us anything.
Alright, brother. They just called them the Bad Boy Pistons for nothing because they was just. You're right. You're right. You're right. They never got into fights with Jordan, Larry Bird. They never was dirty. Bill Laimbeer wasn't considered the dirtiest player back then.
Sir,
You're
sir,
right.
you cannot show us film of Jordan getting fouled in the playoffs.
No, I got the I got the film right here. Put the whole game up. I'm not gonna do highlights. I got the whole game.
Just put the whole game up. Said this bitch ass nigga trying to show one
Hey man, start with the ad hominems, bro. You call me out my name again. You call me out my name again, brother. I'm gonna have to get on you, brother. I don't been respectful.
Hey,
You
y'all.
would never do this. You would never do this in a real life situation. You don't even have a picture up, bro. Stop with the name calling. You don't even got your real picture up. With all due respect, I'm gonna tell you one more time. I'm a grown man. I respect every grown man on this panel. I respect you guys for letting me up. Do not call me out my name. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. The film is here. Now, hold
You're a
on.
nerd. and a virgin.
Now, chill. I can go to any random point in the game, or I can just let it play from the beginning. Which do you prefer?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
You just always say what people say, but they never show us. People lie. Show us the film. Show us what y'all be saying.
Wait, this is one game. Wait, what is this?
I don't know. I just picked it. This is a. Hold on. It says remove new world from contains themes.
Exactly, New World.
Dang, New World.
Come on, New World. You know
Yeah,
that,
boy, you gotta handle yourself better.
Come on, man.
Now it's
Yeah,
my
thank
live visibility is restricted for 10 minutes. All right. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't even know why he did that. It was no reason.
Hold on. Okay, so hold on. We're just gonna play.
Because y'all are hard-headed to think that we never heard these lies before, and we've
Okay, so-
exposed this 1,000
I'm
times.
just going to a random portion in the game, and whenever we see a clothesline, we'll stop. All right. Okay, Jill. And then look, we can. I have the I have the audio down, so we can continue the conversation. But I want us just to be mindful that the
Just type in Jordan rules, bro.
No, I know. We've already
That's
done the entire show.
that's not proof, sir. That's not proof.
The Jordan rules.
Yeah, but this one game don't.
Hold on. Chill.
But we're never going to find a film of them close-lining him in the playoffs. Never. Because it
Oh,
doesn't
it's in the
exist.
play. Wait. So it's in the playoffs? You're saying?
Yes, because we're talking about Jordan during the playoffs. The Jordan averaged 30-something points per game during the regular season.
Okay, so why don't we just watch that game that you guys were talking about where he didn't score?
We can watch game 5. We watch it. Lamar knows we have it. We should watch it. We should
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
let's watch it. Let's watch that. Yeah, but that's what we're talking about.
Or the NBA Finals. We'll prove you wrong too, because every all do all systems.
Let's watch that game then. Or let's
No,
shit,
come
pull
on,
that
man.
up.
Ain't nobody scared of film around here.
Yeah, I'm a film guy too, so I'm glad.
Well, hold on. All I'm saying is, the clotheslining in one game, I don't know why they were stopping another. I just pulled a random game from that playoff series.
Yeah.
Clotheslining, I should see a clothesline. Is that Jordan with the ball?
Yeah, but
No, that's not Jordan. That was that's Sam.
that was Craig Hodges.
No, that was.
Lamar, we have a 3-4 minute video.